3, 2, 1. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Daily Kerbal. We have a rather crammed mission on our hands today. A crew of 5 brave Kerbalnauts are on their way to the moon for yet another special mission. We are going to be utilizing our space infrastructure in a very specific way today. I'm going to be performing crew transfers on both of our orbital stations, one around the moon and one around Kerbin, as well as the attempt to complete a contract involving us returning a vessel to Kerbin from the surface of the moon. No easy task, to be certain. The craft that I build is going to have to be able to land on the moon and then return from there. So it's a very good thing that we have our space stations up and running, because those are going to be crucial to this. There is no way, I think, that I can create a spacecraft that has enough fuel to do that whole thing by itself. I mean, I'm sure I could, you know, if I was better at the game, but I'm not. So I'm going to have to go with the simpleton's version, which is just to perform a bunch of dockings in space. Now, our first step, this is a step that I honestly think I really could skip if I wanted to, but again, just because I mentioned this before, I enjoy role-playing in games, even games that don't necessarily have elements that support that. One of the first things I'm going to do is we have a bunch of people who've been out in space for a pretty long time now, and I think it's time that they got involved in a little bit more active missions. I'm going to bring both Jebediah and Valentina Kerman on this mission. I'm going to take them. I don't think Jebediah has even been on the moon yet, so it's about time that he got his first moon landing, and that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to exchange crew. That's the reason that I have a total of 5 Kerbals on this flight. We're going to be performing crew transfers, replacing crews on the space stations, and also trying to land on the moon all in one fell swoop. As well as, and I actually forgot to mention this, but you may notice that this ship is carrying a large piece over here that doesn't really seem to have much meaning for the craft itself. In fact, it's a lot of extra weight for a single crew cabin, a monopropellant tank, and some fuel. Well, this is part of my ongoing effort to complete another contract that we're still a very long way from finishing. It has to do with expanding the lunar station. In order to expand the lunar station, we don't just need to add extra crew capacity this time, we also have to add a bunch of extra fuel. An amount of fuel that would be, it would equate to, I believe, a total of 2 of these big orange canisters. It wants us to add about 5,000 fuel, so not quite 2 of these, but yeah, that's a lot of fuel that we need to carry up there, and we're not going to be able to do it all at once, so, you know, one step at a time. This vessel here is the one that we're going to be attempting to use to land on the moon. It's going to be a tricky thing, for sure. And right now, I'm about to run out of fuel in our primary orbital stage. So, just again, because of the length that this mission promises to possess, I will continue our orbital maneuver here after I have disabled this crossfeed. We don't want that fuel running out. And yeah, as we've always done, I am going to set a target here. And I suppose I will see you guys once we manage to achieve our first rendezvous. Okay, we managed to establish a very nice rendezvous of 1.8 kilometer separation. Our intersection point is just under 2 minutes away. The station is right down there, and it looks like we are once again going to be docking in the dark. That's fine. That's the reason I brought these along. Okay. So coming in on the station, we're going to have to slow ourselves down, and we're going to have to do it pretty darn quickly. Because I, once again, I believe allowed us to come a little bit too... Yep, okay, there we go. There we go. All right, start burning. Okay. I was beginning to get worried as to how fast that thing was going by. I think in earlier episodes I actually waited a lot. I waited a lot later to cut to this part, like when I was actually within almost viewing distance of the place. Beep. Okay, now let's just kind of let it glide. You'll notice that we burned about half of our fuel, and I think, you know, with the fuel that we had left, we still could easily have made it to the moon, and maybe docked with the station there. Nevertheless, this makes me a lot more comfortable. Okay. Nope, stop. My key press didn't register. Okay, for 1 point, below 2 meters per second, I think we can just finish the maneuver using RCS thrusters. Find ourselves a nice, comfortable docking port, like that one. Over there. Yes. That'll do nicely. Okay. We appear to be flying upside down. Now, in space, that doesn't really matter, I guess. We're also not aligned properly. Well, let's solve that. Okay. Oh wow, this is burning through monopropellant fuel very quickly. There we go. Doing just fine. This time you'll notice that I did not forget about our about the problem we had last time, and I gave it a little nose. So we should be able to comfortably dock with the lunar station this time. It's a good test here too, because this is roughly the space in which we need to fit. All right. Bring us in. Bit high up. Okay, got caught on one of the station's batteries. The magnet should... Oh, no, we're moving away. Alright, there we go. Click. Okay, now we're out of alignment, so let's fix that. Magnet should kind of help us... the ship, there we go. Okay, we are docked. Now let us begin the crew transfer. We have, I believe we have Valentina. This craft is full, so let us begin the transfer with Cathfred. Cathfred can move in there, and then we can get Danzer into the command pod. Out of the command pod, we shall then, or more likely from here, we shall move Cathfred into the cupola module. And we will then transfer Durster, our latest recruit, put him in there. Alright, so far we have Durster, and then we take Valentina, finally gets to leave this station and embark on further missions. The next thing we're going to have to do as long as we're out here is we're going to have to refuel the ship. So let's just get to doing that. There we go. Fill her up. And let's be even with the fuel tanks that we drain. Alright, refueling is nearly complete. I'll just grab some fuel out of here. Fill that up. Alright. The ship is refueled, ready for departure. I'm going to, once again, just quickly make sure that we got all the crew transfers correct. Within here, Cathrid is now in command of the station. And then we have Durster up here. Now, the other thing that I did, I believe, is that I brought some supplementary crew along. And in here we have Jofrid and Samri. It's because we have a lot of engineers with not a lot of work. So I brought a couple engineers along to leave on board the stations. And I'm going to say that Samri, you are going to be the new engineer in charge of... You're going to be the chief engineer of Dinkelstein's Kerbin Station. Get in there. All right. So far, so good. Okay, now undock from the station. Quick save. Use a small RCS burst. Push us away from the station. There we go. Off on our further mission. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plot us a course to the moon. We're actually in the perfect position for it, too. So, burn something like that. Get as close as we can. That's good. That's good. Going to orient us towards our maneuver node. Very carefully making sure we're not causing the station any harm. Because, you know, burning... If the station was right behind me as I used my thruster, that would damage it. Okay, so, again, the rest is pretty simple from here. Once we get into lunar orbit, I will... What's this? Expand Dinkelstein Station. You have finished construction. Seriously? I did? Hang on a second. Be in command, have facilities by 17 Kerbals maintained. Oh, wow. So that apparently counted as that contract complete just by having that bit docked to the station for a while. That wasn't actually planned, but great. I'll take it. Alright, so I'm going to, once again, off-camera, complete the TLI, and I'll see you once I've managed to establish lunar orbit. This has got to be one of the most efficient orbital insertions that I have done in this game so far. It took pretty much half of our fuel to burn all the way here, but only a fraction of that was used to actually get orbit established, so that's great. We're on our way. Next thing we got to do is we got to rendezvous with the lunar station. Shouldn't be much of a problem. I hope I still have fuel left on that station now that I think about it. I mean, I should. There should still be the same 4 canisters of fuel left over on that planet, too. Also, our node is 0.2 degrees, so... Yeah, that's great. Especially around the moon, it's a much smaller section. Okay, the periapsis for the station is 44. So let's try to get that as exactly as we can. I can't tell which is which. Okay, there we go. 49, 48, 47, 46, 5, 44. Okay. It's nearly identical. Where's our target's position at intersect? Oh my goodness, did I just... We have an intersection of 1.2 kilometers. Relative speed of 87 meters per second, which is pretty fast, but this is... I mean... Wow. We had something very similar the last time we did this, but that is incredibly good luck. I wish I could say that I did that on purpose. I'm gonna quick save that. I was worried that you guys would have to watch another 15 minutes of me bumbling around trying to get the rendezvous to match up, but that is insanely good. Alright. A minute away. Which means it's about time that we started to correct our... Nope, yes, it's good. Keep us to switch to target speed. Okay. I'm also remembering now that we're not actually looking at the... This is the total fuel on board, not the one... Not the... No. You know what I mean. Okay. Our heading is now correct. And I just gotta keep running, but the target is still pretty far away, so I'm not gonna slow us down too much just yet. Alright. Starting to pass us now. For some reason, stage view just gets rid of everything altogether. So I can't really tell what's going on there. Gotta just keep the whole thing up and watch this instead. Sucks because I don't have any numbers on this one, so I just kind of gotta guess. Okay, we got a 20 meter per second speed difference. That thing is coming up pretty quickly, so I think it's a good idea to slow us down now. Down to 10. Okay, even more. Slow us down even more. Alright. There we go. Continue to use the thrusters. Okay. Now spin us to prograde. Turn the lights on. For landing gears, that was a mistake. Excuse me, misclick. Turn on the RCS. And then let's choose where we want to put this. I want to put this on, say, this. Give me a sec. There's the crew hatch. Crew hatch is over there. So yeah, I want to connect this over here. Align us first. Oops, did I bump into it? Nope, not yet. Okay. There we go. Nice and slow approach. Come on, pop us on there. Not entirely lined up, but I'm not that worried about it, honestly. Boop. Alright, now I just kind of gotta fix this. Okay. Not docking as smoothly as I've done before, but you know what? It's fine. So, new crew transfers. I believe what we want to do is we want to send Gemstead on board. They're in there. And who do we have in here? In here we have Jofrod. Jofrid. You two are now part of that. And let's have this switched out. Jebediah, you get back in here. And then Jofrod is now in command of the space station. And we have added some fuel to the lunar station now. How much fuel is this? 700 and... That's less than a fourth of the total amount, but we could have put a little bit more. I decided to, for the reasons of weight and just because I know that this station in particular is one that's going to need a lot of monopropellant refilling, I brought a large tank of monopropellant just in case. I believe it's good to have that on board. So, our new crew consists of... the lander crew now consists of 3 pilots. Is that correct? Yes. Valentina, Danzer, and Jebediah. We're bringing them all home. So we're going to have a landing crew of exclusively pilots this time. This is mostly for practical reasons. It's because these were the astronauts that have been left up there for a very long time. And it kind of saddens me that we're going to have... Gemstead is somebody I brought on. I wanted to... to have an engineer and a scientist on board every space station. I don't know if that actually serves a purpose yet, but I suppose we will soon enough. And then probably for an upcoming mission, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring another one of these these exactly and, you know, set it up, put it on the other side. I'm also not kind of thinking that I wanted to have this rotated 90 degrees clockwise to have these guys upright, but again, we're in space, none of this matters. Every side is the right side. Okay, so the next step is for us to determine a landing spot. So I'm going to turn our flags on again, see which spots we've already discovered, already explored. And I'm also kind of remembering now that I did not put basically any science on this ship at all, but that's fine. We'll just have to go without it. We're going to make one of these sites is just going to have to be revisited. Now, oh yeah, I'm also going to have to refuel. We have 2 craters on this side of the moon, as well as like some canyons over here. We got another crater over there, I think, is a separate biome. These are all very beautiful landing sites. I'm going to go for this one. We do not have a flag placed down there, so that's fine. Should be a good place to land. But first, we have to refuel again. Alright. Let's fill her up. Not entirely sure how much fuel we're going to need. I also don't want to completely drain the station of all its resources, so I'm going to fill it 3/4 of the way up. That should be enough to get us onto the surface of the moon and back to Kerbin safely. I'll quick save here just in case it's not, and then we'll see how this goes from here. Decouple node. Activate our RCS thrusters and push us away from the station. This vessel is now all of a sudden going to become a lot more maneuverable. Yeah, this is how I wanted to dock it, because of the windows on the crew cabin. But again, these are just aesthetics, they don't matter that much. Okay, flip us to retrograde. We can turn the RCS off, because this vessel is good. This should function well enough on its rotation wheels alone. And I guess we'll start the burn. We're not flying towards the station. We are not. Okay, burn it. Turn these lights off. This electricity we don't want wasted. Okay, we don't... Since I don't intend to dock with the station again, I think I'm okay differing a little bit from this course. Believe we want to push this way. Nope, that's the wrong vector. So this is the vector we want to go towards. We want to push ourselves a little bit more in that direction. Yeah, just to make sure we have a wider margin for error when coming in. Okay, I'll leave it at like that for now. We're going to be burning more to slow down later. We're going 500 meters per second right now, which is very fast. That's the first crater that we're passing over. And there's the second crater. No, sorry, that was the first crater that we're passing over. Okay. Flip us back to retrograde, and that's pretty much where we're going to stay from here on out. Alright, now, I'm going to try and kill our horizontal velocity. Set us to surface speed. We're going very fast. it to burn a little bit faster. Doing this on moons, by the way, having to build a vessel that you need to return is relatively easy. This stuff becomes very hard the moment you have to start doing it on planets with atmospheres, because that means that mastery of orbital flights is mandatory. Okay, how's our speed looking? 300 meters per second. We got this. Okay, we are now definitely landing in the crater. Almost killed our horizontal speed. We'll know that our horizontal speed is killed the moment this thing is on the top of the nav ball. This thing being the retrograde vector, obviously. Alright. Okay. We're pretty close to the surface now. Sun is right above me, so that's about where our shadow is going to appear. Okay. Really got to slow down now because that's coming in. That's coming in fast. Just go to full burn. And I may have already messed this up. No, we're good. Okay. Did overshoot that a bit. And we might be coming in on a bit of a slope. I'm just going to have it point to retrograde and keep it there. So we are coming in on a bit of a slope. Let's see if I can fix that. Not much, I guess. This thing is a tower, so I might actually have to move it a bit more that way. Right around there. Look at all that fuel we've burned. Yeah, the terrain's really rough. And I pretty much feel comfortable killing our horizontal velocity a bit now. Because we are going back up somewhat. Should be fine though. Right around here. Alright, come on. Those are our new landing struts, by the way. Largest ones that we've developed so far. Still on a bit of a slope. Not as bad a slope as we had earlier, but... No, it is still pretty bad. This might end up tipping the craft. Doesn't. Oh wow. Oh my god. 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 Yikes, is that scary. Okay, now we just kind of got to wait for it to stop sliding. Oh man. This looked a lot more even from way up there. Could we stop moving now, please? I mean, we landed, so that's a thing. I think we have a contract to place a flag. Yeah, we got to plant a flag here. I was going to do that anyway, but I'd really like it if we stopped moving now. Could that be a thing that we do, please? I brought no science experiments with me, so I guess we'll just crew report. Transmit that. Okay, yeah, I'm going to see you in a bit. I'll, as soon as this slide ends. Okay, I actually had to use RCS thrusters a little bit to stop our slide, but we did it. We're here. I'm gonna quick save just because this ship could literally tip at any second, and I don't think I can. One thing that I could do is I could retract like one of these landing struts, and then the ship would kind of even out. But I think if I retract one, it will retract them all because these guys are all locked to a single action group. Anyway, Jeb, you finally made it, man. This is your first time, right? First time walking on the moon? Well, welcome, buddy. Look at that, we even got a ladder built for you and everything. Okay. It was apparently, ouch, more of a first fall on the moon for Jeb, but we're here. We made it. Turn that off. For some reason he has his RCS on. Don't need it. Just take a nice little walk. Boink. Boink. Alright. Shoot, I forgot which crater this is. I'm just gonna type incomplete. More science needed here. By the way, Jeb, Val, and was it Danzer? Yeah. Now, let's take our surface sample, take the EVA report, and we got some science at least. Could have at least put some thermometers and stuff on this. I can't believe I forgot that part. I was just so concentrated on building a ship that could land here and then fly back home. Speaking of which, the hard part is about to start now. Technically thinking that we could kind of just, you know, fly that way and maybe just burn directly towards Earth, Kerbin. In fact, I'm going to quick save here and I'm going to try that. Great, we got the flag. Any other contracts I need to complete as long as I'm here? Return to Kerbin from surface of the moon. Yes, I'm on that. Flag on Minmus, science state. Okay, everything else is for Minmus right now. That's fine. So, yeah, I guess we're just going to fly now. Which way do I have to fly? I have to fly... It's north, that's east. I'm going to have to fly in the eastern direction, which on the nav ball would be not the direction you think it is. Alright, here goes nothing. Quick save. I believe this is the way we have to go. Because, quickly, if that's north, actually, then maybe I'm going the exact opposite direction. Yeah, that's the way we gotta go. I got it. Okay, let's see if this works. The idea here is just to kind of shoot up a very large apoapsis, not even necessarily establishing an orbit, just trying to immediately get caught in Kerbin's gravitational pull. Let's see if this works. If not, then we just reload our quick save. You can also turn flags off now. What's that? You guys seeing that? Is there like an object out there? That totally looks like an object. Where is this? This is... I gotta... Hang on, I gotta remember this. We got our flag over there, the incomplete flag. And it's just north just north of the incomplete flag. You're seeing that, right? Are there stuff to find on the moon? That's news to me. Because that looks like it doesn't belong there. It looks like it's not part of the texture of the ground. It looks like it's actually 3D rendered. Heck, man, I'm gonna have to take a look at that in the future. I totally could just revert us back to our quick save and like try a spacewalk all the way over there. We'll make that the subject of our next lunar landing, I guess. Okay. Our apoapsis is still climbing. That's good. Very curious to see if this works. Actually, I'm even more curious to see if we actually manage to do this with enough fuel left to stop it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and do most of this, see if we can't, see how much we can manage just with our monopropellant thrusters. Not very much, I don't think. But seeing as we don't actually need any more monopropellant for this flight, I'm just going to keep using this. And because this is going to take an exceedingly long time, I will pause my recording yet again, and see you when I get there. Alright, we're here making our final approach. This is the last burn that we absolutely have to make, and our fuel is low, but I imagine it would have been lower if I hadn't burned through all of our monopropellant too. I also had to do another loop around Kerbin, just so that the moon would go past us. There's no way I could slow down here without getting caught by the moon's gravitational pull again, and I'm also looking at the rate at which our periapsis is declining, and I think we're going to be just fine. Yeah, easily. Once again, the altitude that we're attempting to reach, 35,000 meters. Accomplished easily. There we go. RCS is disabled, doesn't matter because it doesn't have any fuel left in it anyway. Quick saved, just in case this turns out to be a colossal disaster. And we shall return home. Once again, I am very much regretting the fact that I did not put enough science on this vessel. Here comes our final approach. And I'm very curious to find out what it is that thing on the surface of the moon was. So that might actually be something that we revisit someday. Maybe even as soon as the next episode. We do have an entire crew on the station ready for landing, so alright. Speed up to the atmosphere again. There we go. Burn what's left of our fuel to slow us down. Excellent. And did I really forget to put a heat shield on the bottom of this? Well, that's embarrassing. I guess let's find out what happens. This thing is naturally heat shielded. To some degree. This is going to be pretty embarrassing if it turns out that I messed this up because I didn't put a heat shield on the bottom of this. I actually had to revert the flight once because I forgot to put monopropellant thrusters on it. I was really not at my A game when I built this spaceship. I mean, the heat level is increasing. Fingers crossed, everyone. It's not climbing too fast. This is important to know, I guess, to see if heat shields are actually required for re-entry. This is the first time that a re-entry has me a little nervous in a while. But it looks like we're going to be fine. It's the reason these pods are good, is Specifically because they're heat shielded for situations like this, I imagine. Still, it was an unnecessary risk. Yeah, see, it's fine. Everything is fine. It was an unnecessary risk, though. One that I will not endeavor to repeat in the future if I can at all avoid it. Alright, there we go. Nice and easy now. Kerbal HQ is somewhere in that direction. We're going to come down over the oceans between the deserts and what appears to be Kerbal's Africa. And any second now, the parachute's marker is going to switch. Going to speed us up. There we go. Chute deployed. Down to the surface we go. A successful mission behind us. It's a little bit of unnecessary excitement there at the end, I suppose, with that heat shield failure. I mean, okay, it wasn't the heat shield that failed. It was me that failed. Let's be clear about that. But we still did it. And we did it relatively problem-free. 2 space dockings, an entire, I believe 4 Kerbals transferred. Maybe even more. Yeah, I think we pretty much transferred 7 Kerbals while we were out there in total. Splash. And we're good. Sweet. Let's see how much we got. Okay, not that much science at all, but hey, it's pretty good. Earned 182 while we were out there. It's less than we usually do on missions like this, but that's again just because I didn't take any science with us, and I probably should have. And we brought down some people. Valentina Dancer didn't get any XP because they've already been on the moon. Jeb did. He got 2. So neat. You may also notice I did a little bit of upgrading while I was away. Upgraded our runway, our stuff. Now before we go, let's see what our next big mission is going to be. Explore Minmus. Let's continue to unravel its mysteries. Enough data to attempt a landing. Or we could stage one. It's up to you. Okay. Gotta land on Minmus and plant a flag. That's fine because I believe that is pretty much the next stepping stone on our list anyway. I'll pick up another plant a flag on the moon mission because that's something, again, that we're going to want to do. Still don't want to build a solar space station. Thank you for offering. Don't want to ferry tourists. I don't think we need to rescue anyone for now, but I'm going to take the science data from space around Kerbin, and I will quickly off-camera do that just from our space station. And that is going to do it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for following along with this exciting new mission, and can't wait to find out what the future holds. We still got plenty more planets to explore. A long future ahead of us. Hope to see you again in the future. Bye-bye.